afternoon, and thank you to the media for coming today. Joining us today at this news conference is our police chief, Keith Glass, our fire chief, Joe Sikora, and several members of our North Tonawanda Common Council, including President Frank DiBernardo. It is with heavy heart that we share the tragic news of a devastating accident that occurred on Friday night. An Amtrak train collided with a vehicle, resulting in the loss of 3 lives. We would like to express our deepest condolences to the families and loved ones of those that they lost during this incredibly difficult time. I also want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude to our first responders and law enforcement there that night. I visited the scene shortly after the incident and saw firsthand the professionalism and swift action with handling this traumatic situation. Their bravery and quick response are truly commendable, and we owe them our heartfelt thanks during this time. As mayor of North Tonawanda, the safety and security of our citizens is always a paramount piece of importance. Whether it's protecting our streets, our neighborhoods, our schools, nothing is more important. Over the last 36 hours, my office has been in communication with city department heads, city and state officials, representatives from the governor's office, and CSX to discuss what happened Friday night and how we can work together to prevent another incident like this from happening again. Currently, our police department has utilized a New York State grant that allows us to focus on the safety of railroad crossings, preventing trespassers, and educating the public. Although this is a piece of incident prevention, the city is committed to taking more action, and upon discussions, we will be reviewing safety measures such as enhanced signage and lighting, a public awareness campaign around railroad crossings, and call on CSX to be a partner of our region, continuing safety inspections across our region, and that there is a prompt response addressing any issues. Our goal is to prevent such tragedies in the future and ensure the safety of all of our residents. Before I introduce Police Chief Keith Glass to discuss more details in our ongoing investigation, again, I'd like to thank the media for coming today, and please hold your questions until the end. Thank you.
First and foremost, I'd like to again offer my sincere condolences to the families of the 3 victims. I cannot pretend to know what they're going through right now. I'd also like to recognize all the first responders who were on scene, some of which just aren't going to be the same. My officers and command staff, specifically, they handled themselves professionally on the scene, but off the scene, we're human beings. And we're grieving along with the rest of the community, who has reached out with tremendous support. This is an ongoing investigation. It's going to take some time to gather all the facts of exactly what took place last Friday night. We do know that on May 17th at 7:56 p.m., a Dodge pickup truck turned onto Felton Street from River Road and was struck by an Amtrak train. Despite efforts of first responders on the scene, all 3 occupants were pronounced deceased. The victims were a 69-year-old male, 66-year-old female, and a 6-year-old male. A saturation patrol was taking place in our city on Friday night, and several local police agencies, including Lewiston PD, Niagara County Sheriff's Office, Lockport Police Department, and the Niagara County Drug Task Force, were paired up with officers from the North Tonawanda Police Department to crack down on warrant arrests and enforce any traffic violations that they might observe. We do know that a town of Lewiston car who was paired with one of our officers did conduct a traffic stop on Felton on the east side of the train tracks. This stop resulted in the vehicle being towed. This stop did not take place on the tracks as speculated on social media. Detectives are in the process of gathering any possible camera footage they can, which will help determining any contributing factors in this accident. That's all I've got at this time.
So any questions?
Just to be clear, the car that was involved in the accident is not the car involved in the traffic stop?
Correct.
The initial traffic stop, what were they being stopped for?
I don't know that.
Are there procedures in place when traffic stops occur close to a railroad crossing with the department?
It's just common sense. There's times people do pull over on the tracks, and we tell them to get off the tracks. You know, it's common sense.
When do you think you'll be releasing the identities of the victims?
It's going to be up to the detective bureau when we make sure all the family, members have been notified. I can't tell you that right now.
Is there any body camera video of this from police officers?
Yeah, there definitely should be. Any other questions at this time?
Are you able to just again paint the scene for us? The amount of cars there, what agencies were there, the tow truck, can you just kind of describe it for us? Because I think there was some confusion about what it really looked like at the time.
So, like I said, there were several different agencies, several vehicles were in the area at the time from, again, it was Lewiston PD, Lockport PD, Niagara County Sheriff's Office, our drug task force was out. So we had several different agencies, several different officers, all of which ran to the scene, and we did everything we could to help the victims.
Chief, can you place the cars for us? You have Felton and the tracks are across Felton.
Mm-hmm.
Where was the traffic stop car? Where was the pickup?
It was,
place them
sure.
in relation to one another, please.
It was on the other side of the gates, on the east side of the traffic arm.
Okay, the traffic stop was on the east side of the gate?
Correct. The vehicle being towed was ahead of the police car.
Mayor, I don't know if you would want to speak at all to concerns the community may have previous to this with with the crossing areas for the train stops and what exactly your plans might entail to improve safety.
Yeah, I touched on it briefly. We really need CSX to be a partner. I'm not the only official in the region who might say the same thing. CSX is a big piece of our region here with the past industry, a lot of railways. And we make our every effort to contact them whenever there is maintenance issues, questions, signage, anything of the sort. We were aware that CSX was there the following day. I believe they used third-party agencies to review, inspect, and so on. We don't know the results of that. We are talking with state officials to try and get contacts higher up at CSX to see how can we be a partner and prevent this in any way possible. Not saying that it is CSX's responsibility in this incident, but still moving forward, just making sure that it doesn't happen again.
And like we saw, there was a deadly accident this year, back in January. Some residents over there might say, why wasn't action taken then?
Well, I don't have all the details with that situation. If I recall, during the unfortunate incident, the young woman, the roads were slick. She got stuck in between the arms for whatever reason, and a similar occurrence happened there. But again, we can only urge CSX to make these types of responses, right? They're a very large agency, and every municipality does our best to communicate with them on a regular basis, make sure that our intersections are, maintained, that they're not falling apart by any means. So we're going to keep pushing those efforts to get them to a response, a prompt response.
I apologize if this was already answered, we just got here, but why was Felton Street not shut down if there was an accident on the other side of the tracks?
So there wasn't an accident. It was a traffic stop. Our officer was paired up with a Lewiston PD car. They made a traffic stop on the other side of the gates, and that stop resulted in the vehicle being towed. So it wasn't an accident.
There was no reason to shut down Felton? Okay.
No.
Chief, how would you characterize this, this tragedy? I mean, just an unfortunate mistake by a motorist, or, what would you say?
I wish I could answer that right now. We don't know, but I can tell you, everybody's hurting. My guys are not doing great. I'm sure Chief Sikora's guys are not doing great. I'm not doing great. We've got help, luckily, coming this week. That the fire department, the dispatchers, police department, EMTs, we're all going to be sitting down with counselors and trying to get through this.
When, I know it's probably hard to put a timeline on the investigation, but any ballpark on when we might have some more answers?
I can't answer. I don't know. It's up to the detective bureau. They're working. They worked all weekend. They're working around the clock on this, so they're going to get things done as quick and efficiently as they can.
How much further assistance are you going to look to with other officials, not just here locally, but maybe on a federal level as well?
I honestly can't answer that. I'm not sure where the detectives are going with this. They're looking at possibly getting some camera footage from the DOT. That'll help them out. They don't have that footage. They're trying to get a hold of something.
Chief, I'm not aware of the engineering of the guard arms, but are there no sensors on these arms when a vehicle's out there? Is that not?
Apparently not. I don't know, but I know they're made to break away if you drive through them. But I can't answer anything more than that. That's a CSX.
Yeah, well, I know Patrick had mentioned that this is the second time, and it's like the seventh this year. What do you recommend someone do if they are in a situation like that going forward?
Drive through the arms and get out of there. The last situation was at a different intersection, still on River Road, but a different intersection. But if you're stuck, all I can say is
Get out or
Get
get out
out.
of the car.
or get out of the car if the car is stuck on the tracks.
Mayor, just my last question for you. The communication with CSX, have they been a good partner with the city? I mean, are they communicative with your office?
So generally, our communications with them go through our Department of Public Works. Oftentimes, when we get requests about, road intersections, maybe around the rails, they're a little chewed up, so we can't touch them, right? That's CSX's responsibility. So we make every effort to contact them, make sure they're aware of it, right? Cover ourselves, but really get the repair done. It's CSX in recent time has been a little bit more communicative, but we're always looking for more of a partnership, not just with them, with any agency. It's from my understanding, the government is not heavily involved in CSX, so there are difficult times that we have in communication.
I apologize since we were late, but why, if you just explain to us, why were they stuck on the tracks there? Do you know why at this time, why that happened? No, we don't know. You just know there was a traffic stop on the other side.
Any other message to the community you want to relay that maybe we haven't touched on?
We all have to be cautious in these situations too. Safety is a key piece that we do our best to ensure the safety of our residents, community members, visitors. We just have to all be vigilant and make sure we're looking at, as a rail coming, our lights flashing, and so on. These incidents, they really shouldn't happen. They're unfortunate, and we're here to help provide any tools we can to educate the public, push agencies maybe like CSX to repair railways, so you don't get that pop tire, so you don't run into issues. We're going to do everything we can, the council included, to come up with ideas to see what the investigation holds and ultimately then take action, right? We don't want to have a preemptive response to something when we don't have all the facts in place, the report from CSX, the investigation that happened, witnesses that were there. But we're going to take that information and make educated decisions moving forward and work with our, local, state, federal officials and other agencies to ensure that we're keeping up on this and these types of incidents don't happen again.
Chief, is there any way of knowing, is there almost a black box of sorts for these crossings to know when the arms came down or it chimed or the lights flashed, or is that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Any other questions at this time?
Is there a phone number, email address that the public could send? Like, let's say they saw something, maybe contact detectives or something like that to reach out? to you
Yeah,
guys?
just reach out to our department and
Six-
692-4111,
Extension.
and they can direct you.
And Chief Glass, what's your first name?
Keith, Keith. Any other questions? Thank you, guys. Appreciate
Thank you again, everyone.
everything.